Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and I'm trying out a new background. So let me know in the comments if you prefer this all-white background or if you prefer to see the weird things that are on my table, as in my previous videos. But regardless of the background, I've got a cool one to look at today. We are looking at the highly anticipated, Target exclusive, McFarlane DC Multiverse, Cassandra Cain Batgirl. So I think a lot of people were looking forward to this one. Cassandra is a character that people like, but has never gotten a lot of action figures over the years. So it's nice to have a new figure of her here. And of course, this is a reused body, but it has a new head and it has a wired cape, which I'm excited about that. This is the first one of these that I've gotten with a wired cape, and I've heard good things about them. So hopefully that will be cool. If we look on the back, we actually for once have some art that pretty much matches the figure. The belt doesn't match, but the reason for that is because this is a reused body from a previous Batgirl figure. But otherwise, the art matches the figure pretty well. So let's go ahead and get her out and see what we think. Okay, so here is Cassandra out of the package. And I've got to say that this cloth cape was quite a bit easier to get out of the package than some of the rubber capes on the previous figures. And aesthetically, she looks pretty great with maybe just a couple small issues. First impressions, though, this cape seems pretty cool, and I'll be working more with that in a second. But probably the biggest argument here is that she probably is a little bit too tall for Cassandra Cain. This is one of the older bodies, right, from previous Batgirl figure. It's one of those McFarlane bodies with the extra long legs, right? Seems like the legs are a little too long for the torso there. And Cassandra probably should be shorter, probably should be one of the smaller members of the Bat family. But overall, I think the aesthetics are quite good. If we get her up close here, this is a new head. And I know you can't see it real well. It would need some pretty harsh light on it here. So hold on just a second. Since this figure is pretty much all black, I'm going to shine some harsh light on it so you can see all the details. So there's the head sculpt. It is pretty good. It is very accurate. You could argue that maybe it would look nicer if the stitches were painted white or something, but it varies in the comics whether or not they are. I think most of the time when she appears with this mask on, the stitches are just plain black like that. Of course, if you remember in her first appearance, she couldn't speak initially, right? Or didn't speak initially. So that's why she had the mouth of the mask sewn up like that. You can see on here some of the other details that are left over from the previous Batgirl body, like the edge of the gloves and the edge of the boots there. And of course, this is the belt from that figure. And some people might take issue with the gray logo here. Of course, in Cassandra's original comic book appearance, her logo was just the yellow outline. And this figure has the gray logo, but I think that looks fine, and that does match some of her comic book appearances. So overall, I think the aesthetics are pretty good, other than probably being too tall a little bit. You can see right here, though, these holes near the shoulders where the rubber cape of the previous Batgirl figure was attached. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at articulation. Before we do that, though, just to look at the cape, it looks pretty good. I think we're going to be able to get some cool things going with it here. So, for articulation, the head can look up pretty good, actually. One of the better look-ups that we've had. She shouldn't really be hindered very much with no hair or anything. Look down only about that far, so not the best look down. Pretty good look up, though. Tilt side to side, pretty good. Of course, can twist. At the shoulders, we've got up that far, so that is pretty good. And all the way around at the shoulders, a little bit of forward and back. She does have bicep swivel right there. Excellent double elbow. Pretty much all the way there. And at the hands, twist, and vertical hinges. So she's got the vertical hinges at the hand. That's good for holding guns and swords and stuff like that. Interestingly, you'll notice here, she has 2 trigger finger hands. And those are the only hands she comes with. She does have the grappling gun, so it makes sense for that. And I guess it's okay of a pose for the for holding the Batarang too. So, but it's kind of interesting that she has 2 trigger finger hands. So if you don't have her holding those accessories, you know, they might look kind of strange. Join at the chest here, and we get not really any crunch forward. This is including the chest and the waist. Well, if we do include the waist, well, that moved the hips a little bit here. Let me hold back here. So no, not really any crunch forward at all. Pretty good lean back. Pretty good tilt side to side. And of course can twist there at the chest. At the hips, we've got forward about that far. And back, not really very much. If you twist it a little bit. No swivel really at the hips. We've got the excellent double knee. And then at the feet, we've got up that far and all the way down. It's a very good range there. Has a toe and has some tilt side to side. So pretty good articulation. Not really limited very much. Does a pretty good job there. Now let's look at the cape, though. So that's kind of the cool part, the part that we came for. So the cape has wires on each side. So here's one here, and here's one here. So we can get some pretty cool things happening. When I first pulled her out of the package, she was doing sort of this move here, where you can kind of do, you know, like a falling from a big height kind of look there, like that. We can move the cape sort of across like this. Get a cool pose like that. Let's see if we can do kind of a, put the arms up. Do something like this. Oh, there we go. That's excellent. So, yes, I will probably also be one of the people singing the praises of the wired capes here in the future. And I think I've got a couple more figures coming soon that are going to have the wired capes. So that's pretty exciting. You get some excellent poses like that. So you check that out. That is pretty cool there. Okay, so let's see her accessories next. So for accessories, she of course comes with the card, right, which matches the art on the back of the box, and the stand, right, that is standard with all these figures. Then for regular accessories, she comes with a grapple gun, and that looks pretty good. It looks like it's in the motion of firing there, right? So you can see the line is still kind of bunched up here at the gun, and it is starting to fire out there. So it's in action, and that looks pretty good. Let's see how well she does at holding that. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so that's in there good. That is a pretty firm fit in the hand for the grapple gun, so no problems there. And then her only other accessory is a Batarang that is very much the Batfleck logo. There, right? Looks a lot like the Batfleck logo. And if you've never seen it before, the Batfleck logo is a pretty much just a pair of underwear, right? If you can imagine the shape there, right? Ignore the little points and imagine that. It works better if you see it in black on the on a Batfleck figure, right? But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Anyway, though, let's see how she does it holding that. So that might kind of fit in here. Again, like I said, she has 2 trigger finger hands. So not having too much success there with her getting to hold the Batarang. There's probably a certain way that it will fit in. There we go. All right, you got to kind of treat it like a gun there, right? And then you can get it to fit in her hand just like that. So that's good. Pretty decent accessories. No trouble holding them. The only thing I would ask for is more hands. I think that would be good. Okay, let's do some size comparisons next. Okay, for size comparisons, here she is with the Alicia Silverstone Batgirl. So they are pretty much the same size. So I guess Cassandra's not really too tall here. They are pretty much the same height. She doesn't want to stand up here. Okay, well, that one's not going to stand up, but you can see they're pretty much the same size for Cassandra and the Alicia Batgirl. So, maybe she's not really too tall. I guess I ever lean forward a speck here. Let me get a better standing pose. Here we go. So, yeah, maybe a speck taller, but pretty much the same size. Here she is with Clooney Batman. So he is a little bit taller than her. So I think I take back what I said about Cassandra being too tall. I think she works pretty well in scale here. Here is Marvel Legends Cersei. So you can see how she compares with a Marvel Legends character, of course, in the 6-inch scale. Here is a typical 12-ounce beverage can. And then, of course, here is John Cena. And he doesn't want to stand up either. So maybe my comparison figures here, like John Cena, are voting on the new background. They don't want to stand up on it. Anyway, there's John Cena. So about the same size, actually, about the same height. All right, so that is the gold label Target exclusive Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Now we got Batgirl stand. Anyway, it's very good. I like a lot of things about it. I especially like the wired cape. I'm definitely going to be doing some dramatic poses with this one. So make sure that you stay tuned for that at the end of this video. So let me know in the comments if you have this figure or if you have any other cool ones. I think this is definitely a cool one. I think it is a pretty decent figure to get of a long-awaited Cassandra Cain figure here. All right, so let me know what else is cool in the comments, and we'll see you in the next review.